What's good, everyone? This is your boy DJ's Raw and Cut Truth. Give you that raw content that you deservedly need. But we have a packed house today. We got the brother Raphael Haynes of 3-point conversions in the house. I told you all I'll look out for y'all. But man, it's a blessing to have you on, brother. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on, bro. How y'all doing?
Man, we doing well. We doing well.
I see
Brother,
Revolution. What up,
yeah,
Revolution?
you know you ready to cook, man.
You already know. It's the energy. It's the vibe.
But I gotta say this: I was disappointed in James Borrego. At first, I wasn't trying to be too harsh on him. I tried to give him a chance, but I did not like him just over critiquing LaMelo Ball like he did, and I never seen him do it for Devonte or any of his quote unquote pet favorites. I've never seen it. Um, I know LaMelo had a bad game to his standards, but he's a rookie. And we all know that all rookies should play through the mistakes. That's the only way they're going to get better. Trae Young did it, and you see Trae Young made an all-star team. Uh, I don't see the vision with the Hornets. I don't see what they're trying to do. They may think they're a playoff team, but there's a lot of things that they could rectify. But brother, Rev, what do you think, man? This is just a travesty.
Hey, Raphael on. So I ain't gonna light up the hot pack just yet. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it professional. When my guy slides, we firing up that Borrego pack tonight. Look,
Go ahead, man.
I ain't never seen. Look, and I've been going down the list. I've been going down the list of bums that were drafted in the lottery over the last 10 years. I've never seen any coach treat a rookie the way they treat LaMelo Ball. I've never seen the public criticizing, the public shaming to this level. To the point, it's like he almost makes it a point of emphasis. The only other time I see this kind of stuff happens is in college when you're trying to coach your kid up. And, you know, like Nick Saban, like he's the master of doing this. He uses the media to get a point across with the players. You know what I'm saying? If Alabama beats a team by 50 points, but they had a bad turnover at the end of the game, he'll make a statement about the younger players. That works in college, but that didn't work too well for Nick Saban with the Miami Dolphins. When you're dealing with professionals, you expect a certain level of sophistication when it comes to handling the rookies. Raphael, bro, make it make sense. Is there something going on in this organization that we need to know about?
So let me say this before I go. Charlotte Hornets fans, LaMelo fans, I want y'all to listen. And I don't want y'all to take anything personal. Y'all can listen with your ears, not with your heart. And understand, because I'm about to break this down. It might sound crazy. It might make sense. And I'll say this: at first, it didn't make sense to me. I was wondering, okay, I don't get it. Like, as a matter of fact, we talked about it on my radio show today. As far as it's not making sense. Like, why? What is he doing as far as the way he's treating Melo? Like, he's not starting them. You know, and I talked to, shout out to Danny Thompson, you know, who covers the Charlotte Hornets, who's asking questions. So we had a nice little discussion, and we, you know, that's how I do with my guys. We talk, you know, that's the main guy who covers the Charlotte Hornets, you know, so we talk. And so what he told me was, I mean, what we came up with is, you look at all the rookies, DJ Raw, he started off and he said, or was that you or whoever? They were saying they didn't do they didn't do Trae like this.
Right.
Ja didn't do that. They didn't do it to Ja. Zion started. Luca started. Devin Booker started. I mean, you go further. Why isn't he starting LaMelo? This is not. Is this a travesty? What? Here's the thing. when Trey started, when Trey was drafted, Trey, Luka, I don't know if Devin was, I don't think Devin was top 3, but we're gonna talk about top 5. Trey, Luka, Ja, Zion, anybody else you can name in the last 3 to 4 years. They got drafted on teams that were horrible, right? Horrible. I'm talking, that's why they got top 5. They were bad. They needed help in those positions that they picked up. Trey, they needed a player. I don't care what position you pick besides power forward with John Collins, whatever they was getting, he was starting. Luka, they needed Luka to start. And at that point, it was small forward because they ain't had no small forward. Dirk was getting nobody else on the team. Ja, no players on Memphis. Zion, so on, right? When LaMelo got drafted, you had Devonte, who had played well the season previously. He played pretty well. What was his first, second year? Played, right? You had Rozier. You're not benching him. And we're going back from what they did the previous year. So when it came to LaMelo, they picked him. We picking the best player on the board because I think they was going to pick Wiseman. I think they wanted Wiseman. It would have made sense. They couldn't get Wiseman, right? Golden State got Wiseman. So now let's pick the best player on the board. So they get LaMelo. Here's how it's unique from all the other rookies I named and all the other young talent. Like I stated, they needed that point guard. They needed that small forward. They needed that player at that position, those other teams. And I just said, they didn't, for Charlotte, you kind of was, I'm not going to say solidified, but you were pretty straight in a sense, So when you bring in Melo, now you have, which is an advantage, honestly, now you can mold LaMelo like you want to mold a rookie. They couldn't do that to Trae Young. They had to play Trae Young. They had no choice. So Trae had to learn on the fly. And think about it. Trae didn't start balling out until the second half of the season. Now, Luka came in balling out of control. Ja was balling out of control, but Ja went to college for more than 2 years. But Trae struggled. Luka played overseas with professionals for more than 3 or 4 years, So you bring in Melo. Now we can mold Melo. What Borrego is doing, because like I said, I'm with y'all. I was lost at first. But they see an opportunity, I think, in Charlotte, period, that they can mold him. They can really, hey, you're not doing this right. Teaching them. Now, with the minutes, you like, okay, why are they playing him like this? Especially last night, he played 2 minutes in the second half. He made some mistakes, but it's like Devonte shooting bricks, but they're not benching him. Well, the difference is with Devonte, if you're not making shots, okay, you're not making shots. But if Devonte is getting back on defense, when Devonte is making passes and he's not making turnovers, like Carmelo made turnovers, but he's not making turnovers like that. A coach can say, okay, we're going to keep Devonte in if Melo isn't playing any better, right? If Melo's not playing any better, we gotta put the not veteran but the more experienced player in, especially the fact that Devonte hit 20 points in the first half. So you want to stick with the guy that's hot, even though he didn't do anything in the second half. But now that you have Melo and he threw them passes, some of them was on Cody. We know that. Cody was rusty. I even asked Cody that. I don't know if y'all caught that. I asked Cody the day before. I asked him, I said, Cody, what's going to happen if Melo throw that no-look pass? Are you going to be ready? And he's like, man, I don't know. I got to keep my head on a swivel. We talked about that before the game. You see how that worked out.
He wasn't ready.
Right, he wasn't ready. Right. Then Melo made some bad turnovers. And you saw it when he made bad turnovers. It kind of bummed him out. So when he got back on defense, they was going right past him. You can't play zone the whole game. Look at it. Look at it, Revolution. You look at it when he
3
came back.
3 point.
When
My
he came
brother,
back on defense, he wasn't on point. But here, and this is what I'm saying. This is the difference between having coaching, having Trey and everybody else with a Melo. You can sit Melo down, and you might say that's harsh. Why you treat him like that? He's your star player. You got to remember, you said it yourself. That's what Nick Saban did. You do that in college. Melo didn't go to college. Matter of fact, when Melo was playing in the league, that I call LaVar Unc, right? That's my uncle. I call him Uncle LaVar. But when he played in Unc's league, they were scoring 50 points a game with no defense. Unc wasn't caring about defense. You let him play. Even in the Australian league, the league he was in, they weren't playing defense. He didn't learn how to play defense. He didn't get chastised when he made that mistake. But now he's in the NBA. Borrego is doing that now. Shoot mode this guy. And I understand y'all. Trust me, because I was shocked. And I understand how y'all feel, Melo fans, because y'all like, yo, this is not right. He's not. Melo's going to start. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to get this kid right. He's trying to teach him the stuff that he didn't learn. And we know Melo want to start, but you see Melo is very humble. And, you saw the press conference today we posted. He was very humble. And Borrego is working with him in practice. And, they sit down together. They watch film. They do all of that. Melo's going to be straight. I promise you. They see something in this kid. And a lot of times with Trey, with young guys, you can't bring them up the way you want to bring them up. You know why? Because they don't have a choice to. With Melo, you can mold him. Remember, this is only 16 games? 16 games in the season. I know y'all want him to start. I want him to start. We all do. No, but I would rather him do like he's doing, learn, because it's going to pay off. Trust me, he's going to start before his. Because you don't pick a top three. You don't pick a player that high and just have him on the bench the whole season. That's not going to happen. But they wanted to make sure they got him. Because think about it. As bad as the East is, if Charlotte finished 10th, now they're playing for the playoffs. So at this point, they feel like, okay, we're still in it. We can mold Melo. Let's get him right. But I promise you, even if before, I think less than a month, Melo's going to start. I'm saying it now, Melo's going to start. But I think you have the unique option to coach him up, to chastise. Melo never got chastised when he was in Australia. He never got, like you said, he's not in college. He didn't go to college.
Ralph, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something real quick, DJ, because I know it's time for somebody else to go. I gotta ask on behalf of the peoples, on behalf of the new media. All right, brother. I understand you are in a very precarious situation because you are a brother that's pioneering and doing some great things, and you're dealing with the team. But we know basketball. Devonte Graham's the worst defender on the team.
Right. He is.
It's not even close. James Borrego is not Nick Saban. He has no rings. And I'm telling y'all this right now. Y'all come back checking me 20 years. James Borrego would never have a ring. He's not that kind of coach.
I agree.
James Borrego is a bridge coach. He's the guy that gets you to your coach once your team shows growth. This is the problem that I'm having with this narrative that the Charlotte Hornets are trying to push out, because they're trying to push the narrative out. The character assassination of your quote-unquote franchise player, I don't necessarily believe they know that for certain. I feel like they feel like if he acquiesces to the system and becomes what they want him to be, then he's their franchise player. I think they look at him like that wild horse with all this potential. But unless he does what they want him to do in their system, which, and this is not the representation of this brother on this panel, this is just a fan speaking from a fan's perspective.
Right.
I want to make that clear before this gets cut up and taken places. But from a fan's perspective, after the night of the triple-double and the game after that, we all had a conversation, me, you, and DJ. And I said, so what are they going to do? They're going to wait till he cools off and Devonte heats up? And how is that going to develop his confidence? Because, see, when I watched the interview today, brother, I didn't see LaMelo being humble. I saw a kid that was frustrated. And then when I see scouts who are connected to his camp saying certain things, you don't want that kind of energy right now. Charlotte is not in a situation where they can be shunned a franchise player. You just can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you haven't had one. So now that these things are starting to leak from his camp, 16 games in, and he's seeing games with Anthony Edwards shooting 2 for 12, and these other rookies struggling, and they're still getting minutes. It looks like they're going out of their way to make him acquiesce and do what they want him to do. And it's costing them wins. I'm just going to be honest, because really, like I said, Devonte, if you really look on a play-by-play basis, I've never seen him stop anyone one-on-one. And I'm not saying he's not trying.
Now, I'm not saying he's a good one-on-one defender, Devonte. No, I'm not saying that. And it's not about one-on-one defenders being a good one-on-one defender, because you can be a horrible one-on-one defender, but if you're able to not just let your man go past him, then okay. Remember, this is your franchise, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? So you want to take this time to mold him. I know this is 2021. I do. And again, like I said, I want him to start too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a fan of LaMelo's. But you gotta remember, it was times, and this I understand this is not the old days, but we saw people like Charles Barkley didn't start right off. We saw Reggie Miller, he didn't start right off. The reason why Michael Jordan started right off, because it was nobody in that position. They were horrible. You know what I'm saying? If Melo would have got drafted to Golden State, he wouldn't have started. If Melo would have got drafted to the Hawks, he wouldn't have started. Now, if he'd have went somewhere like Cleveland, I think he probably would have started. Minnesota, I don't know, because you had Rubio, but let's be real. If you look at the minutes, and quote me on this, but I think Melo is second in minutes among rookies. Something like that, right?
That's an old stat, man. Way down.
I can hear you.
I said that was an old stat. He's way down. Like the last
Revolution. There's like a lot of errors.
It's like a lot of errors.
It's my last of them. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it the same thing going on?
No, I can hear you now. You say
No, I'm saying his minutes are down now. He's not in the same ranking once they average the last couple games in.
Like, it's like, I think he averaged what, like 20, 24? It's between 20 and 24 right now.
It was 24 before the last two games. He's probably down to like 22 now.
Right. But James Wiseman only averaged 20 minutes a game. He starts. Anthony Edwards only averaged, I think, less than 20 minutes per game. He come off the bench. So, yes, I think when he's playing well, he should get his 30 minutes. Like, he should. I agree. Like, I'm with y'all. I'm with everybody. I think all media is scratching our heads. Media talk amongst each other. We're wondering when he's gonna start. Shout out to Rick Benel. I know a lot of people say they don't like him, but Rick was, he OG. He asked a question. He was the one that asked question. When is Melo gonna start? Then he asked Melo, do you want to start? I mean, he asked those questions, but we're wondering also as media. But again, it's the fact that they have the option to where they can coach him up, make sure he's playing. He didn't get taught the proper college defensively. He didn't get taught that, and that's not his fault. I'm just saying, because he didn't go to college, they weren't teaching it, so they're trying to get him to learn that. When he make mistakes, he got a pass when he was overseas. So you got to get him to the point, because you don't want him to be where, let's say it's like a spoiled child. Let's say you got this child, he's good, or just talk about him, he's doing great. You put him in, he throws some bad turnovers, whatever, but you let him play. When is he gonna learn not to do that? When you know what I'm saying? And he knows when he messes up, but I guarantee you, it's tough love, bro. You ask any NBA great that's been through that, they'll tell you that's what it is. We saw it with Iverson. Y'all saw what Iverson went. And true enough, I know y'all gonna say, well, Borrego's not Larry Brown, but I'm just saying, we saw it with Iverson, right? We physically saw Iverson frustrated, about to cry when Brown said, sit by me. But later on, Iverson said, that's what I needed. This is only 16 games, y'all. I promise you, he's gonna start. Because like y'all say, y'all want Michael Jordan to say something. I guarantee you, if he's not starting by the end of March, you're gonna hear something. And you know how he's able to get away with this right now? they're able to get away with this right now? It's no fans in the stands. It's no fans in the stands. So should I drop the mic? So should I drop the mic? So with no fans in the stands, and I'm gonna shut up, DJ. But when there's no fans in the stands, and the fans can't boo or they can't, you can do. That's why I said they can have the option where they can really mow him like they want to mow him. Because I mean, they're not looking at Twitter. They don't, most of them not thinking about Twitter and all of that. They don't care about that as far as management, But if it was a game and fans were there, oh yeah, they would have got booed out to, you know what I'm saying? I don't even think Borrego could have walked on the court after the 10th game. So that's a factor too. But again, I know we hate this, and I know it's not right, and it don't seem right. And like I said, I'm on y'all side. I want Melo to start too, and it's gonna be frustrating for him. He's not gonna like it because he's not used to this. But that's what it takes to be a professional, to learn your mistakes, to learn. Because now I guarantee you, because you want to get on the court, he won't make them mistakes again. Like Borrego said the other day, he was like, he's going through a rookie stretch. I know a lot of people got upset and like, whatever, man, F you and all that. But it's true. Every rookie gonna go through that anyway. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is, again, with Trey, Ja, Luka, they were on teams where they had to start. It was no other option. And they got
his last 3 games are 14, 11, and 7. That's right. Not a rookie. It's not a rookie. It's like they're trying to make us believe the bullshit they saw. I'm sorry, 3-point conversion. It ain't adding up. It don't make sense. Bro, Luka didn't go through this. Luka didn't play traditional ball. He played European ball. He never had to come over here and acquiesce. I'm going to ask the question I think the people in the chat want to know.
Okay.
How much does this has to do with LaVar Ball? And the fact that he's LaMelo Ball? Keep it real.
You know
why they want to break this kid.
Okay, you know why it's not that? Because why would you pick somebody? So you picked him out of spite?
Revenue. He generates interest into a franchise that gets another.
But still, how would that build revenue if everybody's mad at the Hornets? And now, right, because again, remember, it's no fans there. So they're not being affected like you would. I mean, because yeah, they're gonna buy the fans gonna buy the jersey. We're gonna buy jerseys, no doubt. But I don't think you draft somebody and then say, okay, because his father. I mean, let's be real. His father came out and he talked not too long ago. Unc said something not too long ago, but Unc been quiet. He hadn't said that all season, so it's not him. And honestly, I think him and Mike are cool. You know what I'm saying? I think him and Mike are cool, I believe. So I don't think it's that. It's again, man, it's just the fact that now Borrego might be going about it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And the way he's delivering it, that could be it too. But as far as Melo learning, it's like reprogramming him right now because he wasn't programmed the NBA way. He was programmed an open league. You could mess up, do anything you want. You wasn't getting punished for because he was making them money overseas. You know what I'm saying? He was doing all of that. So when he made mistakes or if he didn't get back on defense, he didn't get punished for that. But this is the pros now. So now they're trying to reprogram. Okay, this is how you do this. This is how you make this pass. You don't have to make a no-look pass every play. You have to do this. Now we have his great games, but I think, like you said, I think they're making a point and letting him know, like, look, man, we're just trying to get you to the point where we want you. We're trying to tune up your game, get your game right. So when it does count, when we're trying to go for this playoff run later on the season, you'll be on board. Remember, he didn't have no training camp. So he gonna show flashes, a lot of flashes where he did play well, but then there's gonna be times where he might make mistakes. And there might be certain mistakes that we don't see because we looking at stats. But you don't know if he missed a defensive assignment. He was supposed to be right there. He was supposed, or he didn't on offense. I think offense, he's really fine. He don't really make that many bad turnovers. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's more so defensively. That's all we keep hearing is defensively. So We gonna see, but I guarantee y'all he's gonna start in February. I promise you that's the plan. Because if not, I really think you're gonna see it trickle down from Mike and all of them. We got to get this kid in there. Because what's the point of playing if he's, especially if he's getting better? Why are we sitting him on the bench, or why are we not playing him minutes if he's not, he's not playing, if he's not playing bad? He's gonna start in February. I promise you. They're just trying to, like, it's a tough time for Melo, it's a tough time for all of us, but they're trying to reprogram him. They're trying to get him to the point where he's learning the game the NBA way. You know what I'm saying? No training camp. It's only been 16 games. I'm gonna do like, I hate Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna do like Aaron Rodgers said, RELAX, relax. I promise you, he's gonna be good.
Brother, thank you for joining the show. I have a couple of points. Anthony Edwards, he has about almost 25 minutes of a game. I just checked. It's 24.9. LaMelo is fourth right now, and that's probably going to be lower, especially with these other games coming up. Here's the problem. The problem is James Borrego is giving Devonte preferential treatment. Devonte has not been good this year. Fans, not just in Charlotte, but outside of Charlotte in the NBA community, has said he's starting over LaMelo. I made an example, my brother, that if Malcolm Brogdon or Kyle Lowry, not a superstar guard, but a veteran guard who has respect, was starting over LaMelo, I don't think any LaMelo fan would complain. I think they'll be like, they'll understand, and LaMelo got to wait a year, which is good. But since Devonte Graham, aka Tay-Bay, that's a little nickname we got him because he's the coach's bay. Tay-Bay. Yeah, James Borrego's bay. For some reason, he can never say anything wrong about Devonte Graham. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. There's a lot of things that are weird. It seems like James Borrego is making more plays for him than Gordon Hayward and Rozier. This is what I see. He's always getting shot attempts more than them, it seems like. He gets more opportunities. He's allowed to mess up. But LaMelo, who's a rookie, and this has been the whole program of rookies, right? You're supposed to let them learn through the mess ups. You're supposed to let them learn through the turnovers, the misassignments, so they could eventually grow. I'm not asking for LaMelo to receive 35 minutes a game straight up. I want him to be used as a point guard, right? And I want him to have his identity. He could play 28 minutes, all I care. But if he could have good portions of those 28 minutes and not going in and out 3 minutes at a time and have a flow. What did I tell you guys a couple weeks ago? It's very hard to come off the bench and to be accurate because you're going to be out of rhythm. If you're not used to being a role player, it's going to be tough for you.
Right.
Not everybody's meant to be a six man like Lou Williams and other players. I said it will be an adjustment. I didn't like the fact that when LaMelo messes up, it's just him. I've seen a game where Devonte turned over the ball 4 times and took up horrible shots and got cooked on defense. And the coach never said, well, this game is, well, if Devonte would have done these assignments, then we would have had a different story. I know a lot of people have a coaches fraternity and they're trying to stick up for coaches. I get that. But James Borrego, he's just not a fit with LaMelo. LaMelo's a good kid. He's going to work hard. He's going to listen to his coaches. He's going to be the student of the game. Nobody needs to worry about that. But I'm talking about down the line. Maybe they need a Mark Jackson to rectify the wrongs of the Hornets. The Hornets play like a team that does not have an identity. If they would have fixed this up, and you know this, Raphael, that's why you agree. If they had an identity, none of the questions would even be answered. Nobody would be complaining about what's going on right now if they had somewhat of identity.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they have an identity. Remember, I said it first time I was on the show. They don't have an identity, and they still don't. Again, I'm not gonna lie. With Borrego, I know Borrego's probably not going to be that coach. He's a bridge coach, just like Revolution said. I 100% agree. I think with Devonte, I mean, who knows? I don't know why. I'm like you all. It doesn't make sense to me about I don't know. Him and Devontae cool. Sometimes I guess coaches have favorite players. I don't know. I can't answer that. But I do know that they don't have an identity yet. I don't think with Devontae's like with Devontae starting, I don't know where it draws on. Like I kind of understood when he was trying to get his confidence up. I got that. Okay, he has his confidence up now, but because like I said, it seemed like he doesn't criticize Devontae. He takes up for Devontae as much more than he does for LaMelo, right? And I do know that we don't ask Devontae questions like we ask LaMelo questions. You know what I'm saying? So that's true. But still, he takes up for Devontae more than he takes up for Melo. And it might be his favorite player. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, again, purposely, I think they're being hard. I don't want to say hard, but I think they're sending a message to LaMelo as far as, okay, this is the NBA. We're trying to mold you. Now, again, he comes from Pop's team, right? With, you know how Pop is. They be having them indirect messages. You know, he'll mess with you purposely. He'll say stuff to get you. You know, like you said, Nick Saban. You talk about all of that. Now, true enough, he's not Popovich. He's probably not on that level, but he comes from that tree. If Mark Jackson was in Charlotte, how would he do it? I think what you see with Mark Jackson, because Mark Jackson played the point guard, I think you will see more hands-on, which I would want to see this on the court, is have Mark Jackson, Mark Jackson pull you to the side, talk to him, even if he pulled you off the, or sat you down. Even if, okay, Mark Jackson can't go to you and talk, I guarantee you an assistant coach would go to Melo and coaching him up. We don't see that part. You know what I'm saying? That's where it looks iffy. Now, he talks a lot about, behind the scenes. He talked about this week when they were out that he spent a lot of time with Melo. They looked at film. He showed them what was going on. He said Melo is starting to understand. He's learning. He's going through that point. I can't speak to that because I don't see it. I can only go by what he says. But usually when you have star players, I saw it, like I said, I cover the Hawks. I see it with Trey and Lloyd Pierce. Pull him to the side, talk to him, time out, stop him, pull him to the, you know what I'm saying? You don't see that part. So, I mean, maybe him and Devontae are cool. Maybe that's his, sometimes coaches have favorite players. I know Phil Jackson's favorite player was Scottie Pippen, believe it or not. That was his favorite player, it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? But again, if it doesn't happen by end of March, I think Borrego's out. I think he's gone. Because at this point, we're listening to you all. Now, I'm saying a lot, and I tell y'all, I think they're, this is the way they're doing. I think he's gonna be fine. But I listen to you all. We ask questions that you want to know or that you want to hear. We try to get him. Now, again, I can't ask every question.
That's where you go.
Say it again.
I said that's where you to go.
Whatever, man. But I do ask questions, and I try to get those questions in because I know y'all want to know, and that's who we here for the fans. But they're starting to come. Like I said, Rick asking them, Rob Boone, he asking them. We're all starting to. Okay, when is Melo playing, or what did you see in Melo? You're starting to see him now. We coming out strong, and he can't hide from it anymore. Yeah, you see, he get frustrated, but oh well, bruh. Until stuff start making sense, and it don't have to make sense to us. To be real, because you're the coach. I get it, but as fans, that's our job to go ahead and say what we want and say what we need and say what we think should happen. A lot of times we might not be right. Sometimes we might be right, but that's our job. So you're gonna hear it, and he's hearing it from the media right now. It's because it's getting to a point. I don't want to say it's getting redundant, but it's just getting to a point where it's like we don't see the two getting treated fairly, and that's my only. Like I said, that's my only problem is if he was taking up for Melo like he takes up for Devonte, I wouldn't be as critical. Because trust me, I understand Melo not starting right now. I understand you trying to get him right. I understand all of that. But when you are taking up for Devonte, and you don't necessarily, we talk about his woes, it was, Devontae is going to be good. Like when he was going through that shooting streak, that bad shooting streak, we was grilling him about that. Well, Devontae, he's going to be cool. He's a professional. He's this and that and that. But then we asked about Melo. He says he loves the kid. I do love the kid, but it's some stuff he got to get going. And that might be true, but bruh, you can't, you can have a favorite, but you got to treat everybody the same. And you send a bad narrative.
It's a PR nightmare.
It's
a PR, it's a public relations nightmare. And that's why I don't have faith in the organization, because I think what me and DJ are saying, it's cool when you got a track record of building franchise players. It's cool when Charlotte is known for that. You know what I'm saying? Even Kemba's first year in Boston was underwhelming. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why they paid Gordon Hayward the money they paid him to get there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's not making a lot of sense. And my question is about him starting in February. We don't know if Melo's going to snap out of this slide, because what if his confidence is damaged? When you're dealing with those Pistol Pete type players and those Jason Williams type players, and you try to change their game, I mean, that's what makes Melo special. And to me, the greatest thing about Phil Jackson is he realized he had a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? Right. He realized he had a Ferrari, and he rode that Ferrari. My fear is, and I told you this the first time you were on, my fear is truly that LaMelo is going to continue to have this up and down situation, because I'm sure he has to be questioning in his mind what's his role. So how do you, at that point, if he continues to struggle, how can you insert him in that starting lineup over Devonte when Devonte is actually playing better offensively now? It doesn't. I don't understand it.
That's a good assessment and a good question. And when Devonte if he's scoring like he is, it just seemed weird to take him out. But Devonte is a shooter. Because he's a shooter. Now you don't want to hurt his, it could hurt his confidence too, but because he's a shooter, and I mean, I don't know if that, he seems like he's never been a me guy, even when he talks, even yesterday when he had a good game, he was like, they brought that up, the media, and he was like, I mean, that's cool and all, but we lost. That's not the problem. And he said, it's not about starting it's just about playing. Like I said, from the looks of it so far, they're pretty much a close-knit team. You know what I'm saying? Most of them, but I think with a shooter, if I bring you off the bench and you have free range to shoot, you should be good. You know what I'm saying? You should be good. But if Devonte is shooting, if he's scoring 20 a game, or if he's scoring 18 a game, but LaMelo is getting triple doubles, and LaMelo is a better floor general. You should start LaMelo, and again, we all see that if he gets that flow, like DJ said, all he needs is that flow. If he gets in that flow, the sky's the limit. So I think you got to start him. You have to start him. And again, you're not going to pick somebody top 3. He was third pick, right? Third pick. You're not going to pick nobody third pick with the third pick and sit him on the bench the whole year. I mentioned Charles Barkley. I mentioned Reggie Miller. They started, eventually in their rookie season. But it was one of them things. All right, we're gonna prepare you. We got somebody right now to fill in. You sit back, you watch, and all of that. We're gonna correct your mistakes. I'm cool with that. I am. I'm good. I think we all should be cool with that. But to a certain extent, after 30-some games, 20-some games, okay, 30-some games, it's time to get him. It's time to get him in. Because now, what was your point in picking him that high if you're not gonna play him the minutes? So.
Rafael, I want to ask you because I don't know why someone would think that LaMelo is not a floor general. He's one of the best young passers in the NBA, talent-wise. Passing ability and being a floor general, what would you rate this on this Hornets team, talent-wise?
Just what? As far as just talent-wise?
Peer gifts.
With everybody?
With the Hornets.
Yeah, okay. So I think I'm gonna just list the players from top to bottom who I think are the best players, right? I think right now it's clear Gordon is your best player. I know a lot of people talked about Gordon and what do we pay him for?
I agree.
But yeah, and Gordon, I mean, I know it's more than 4 more games, probably more than that he scored like 18 points in a half. He gets a shot easily. Gordon is, because he can get a shot anytime he wants. He's a pretty good defender. Okay. Then I know the last few games Rozier's been inconsistent, but Rozier is a player. I hate using that word two-way. Is if you just a basketball, you play defense. If you can score, it's just basketball. It's not a two-way. That's just trying to hide players that can't play defense. So I hate that term, but Rozier is he can play offensively and defensively, So you put him next. You put him right there. I mean, I think you got to go LaMelo after that. LaMelo gifts of, like I said, he's a floor general. He see things before things are formed. He can see the floor. He sees things that we won't see. A good point guard doesn't see the things that Melo sees. His man, he's got that Magic Johnson type, vision and that mindset, and the way he's able to rebound the ball. After that, then I think that's when you go to. I think the other players is trying to be one dimensional. I'm not going to order, but Devonte can shoot the ball. He can handle the rock, but he's not a point guard. He's not a point guard. PJ, we've seen his game get better, but PJ, he's still undersized and he's not going to rebound the ball like that. He can get his shot when he wants to. When I say he wants to, I'm not talking about like anytime. I'm saying when he feels like he can get a shot, he'll shoot and do whatever. But like I said, I think the only other player I like is Miles when it comes to someone who could he's gifted, man. I think he's very underrated because he can score, he can handle the ball. His shot has gotten better. And he's a little active on defense. So without going through the whole team as a whole, a lot of the parts doesn't match. They don't mix and match, right? And again, and I told y'all this last time I was here, it's a process. We've seen Mitch build teams with the Lakers and it's a process. I told y'all, and I go back to Atlanta when they drafted John Collins first. Horrible team. They drafted Trae Young next. They still weren't good. Then what they do? They went on and they drafted Cam. They had the top 3 picks in the last 3 drafts. Picked the Cam and Hunter. They were still, they still didn't do well last year. And then next thing you know, boom, they exploded. They got the kid Onyeka. They got people in the offseason. Now they're a decent team. But that was a 4-year process. Philly took 4 years to get it done, right? So they're gonna probably have to blow up this team because right now Charlotte is in that mix where they're not bad enough where they're going to get a top 5 pick or even a top 10 pick. But especially with this new rule now that if you make the top 10, you can play for a playoff spot. They're in that range. So in order for them to get these pieces, they're going to have to blow it up. And I think they will, because with Miles and PJ, they're both, I think PJ's undersized to me, but I think they're both undersized. You can't have both of them on at the same. I mean, PJ can score, but he's not a rebounder like that. We need a big. My man Elijah just mentioned the twins. You probably gonna have to let Cody go. Because Caleb, we saw what he did last night. He was hustling, playing defense. He scored a little bit. And, of course, which is important in Charlotte, he has Borrego's trust. You know what I'm saying? Caleb does. We don't see Cody. So you're going to have to break that. You probably got to break that up. But you can't have this team and say, all right, we're going to grow, and this is the team we're going to go to the future with, and we're going to try to. No, you can't. Again, you have 3 guards on your team that's all capable of starting. It doesn't match. It doesn't mix. It doesn't work. So if they don't trade Rozier this year, I really think they trade Rozier in his final year of his contract to get something. I could see them maybe moving a PJ. I can almost see something where they might move Borrego. I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, he can go tomorrow.
He's out of here.
I would be surprised.
Are you saying they keep Devonte Graham?
It's a chance where they can keep him. See, I think Rozier, you get more value.
They're gonna pay this man.
Well, I mean, if they keep him, I don't think they're gonna pay him like the max or anything like that. But I'm saying right now, you don't move him right now. I mean, you got value for him because you're not paying him right now. So he will stay there for another 2 years maybe. But with Rozier, he's better off getting moved, especially next year, because now you get them that money.
Because Devonte Graham's contract is up next year.
Next year?
Yeah. Borrego already talked about how he needs to get paid. He appeared on the a podcast on Spotify Wednesday, and he was basically saying, and this is why we're coming like this. He basically said the reason why he owes this to Devonte is because of the year he had last year. He's a human being. He has feelings. That's what he said. And then he also said exactly what he said, bro. We came with the.
I'm saying you.
It's in the clip.
Crazy.
We in the clip tonight. You feel
That's
me?
crazy, bro.
And then he said it's getting hard and hard to defend. Johnny Cochran couldn't do it, bro. Johnny Cochran couldn't do it. And the last thing he said was Devonte is in a contract year, bro. So it seems like they're marginalizing LaMelo to justify what's going on with, you know what I'm saying, Devonte Graham. I personally think they're trying to move Devonte.
You think they're trying to move Devonte?
It's got to be that.
I don't think they trade him, though, because, again, what value would you get from him? Why would anybody else take a trade from him when he's not getting paid now? You know what I'm saying? So either
I agree.
Either
I agree.
that's why I say either they release him or if they keep him, he's not getting big money. He might get some money, but he's not getting big money. And again, let's be real, because trust me, I'm not a Devonte fan like that. I'm not taking up for him, but Devontae's in a bad spot with the fans because Borrego's taking up for him, and we want Melo to start. If Melo was starting and Devonte was coming off the bench and Borrego wasn't talking like he's talking, I don't think any Charlotte fan would have any problem with Devonte. Am I right?
It's because there's so many glaring holes. Since we're talking about film in the chat section.
Right.
Devonte Graham, worst weak side guard defender in the league. Easy.
Right.
Worst weak side rebounder. You know what I'm saying? Like he provide, other than like you said, when he shoot, and I've been taking notes on Devonte Graham. Devonte Graham will give you 3. And then the opposing team will come right back at him, and he's giving up 2 every time.
Giving up 2, right?
He's giving up 2. If the shot comes off on his weak side, he's rarely going to get the rebound. So you're losing so much with him on the court. Let's just move Melo to the side. I want to expand this conversation, DJ. What the hell are they doing for the development of Miles Bridges? Because as an outside onlooker of Miles Bridges' career for the last 2 years in Charlotte, I look at this guy and I say, man, this guy could be amazing. He really could be an intricate piece. But he goes through the same thing that LaMelo goes to, where they pull him, stop him, pull him, stop him. Like even the comment that James Borrego made, once again, disrespectful comment, guys in his 3rd year up for a contract next year, when he makes the comment, well, yeah, Miles and LaMelo have to do better. Damn, now you're grouping them with the rookie. You see what I'm saying? Like you're not taking in effect any of his growth. So is Miles Bridges a guy that they're sold on? Because I don't see that either.
Well, I think Mitch and Mike. Well, I say Mitch. I mean Mike playing owner, so Mike act like he not even saying anything about none of this. But I think Mitch. Well, I hope Mitch, because we hadn't really talked to Mitch since draft night. But I hope Mitch sees the value in Miles, because I think Mitch didn't draft P. What Mitch got here last year, was it? Last year, right?
Yeah.
So he did draft PJ. He drafted PJ, but the value in Miles, man. I mean, Miles could do so much, and it's possible they can keep both of them if they play them to the point where one is off the bench and one is. But I don't think PJ's a starter. The only reason why I don't think PJ's a starter, because I don't think PJ goes hard enough every night. He doesn't go hard enough every play. When you see Miles brings that energy to the game. PJ got a nice game, but PJ doesn't go hard every game. And when the next coach comes in, if and when I'll be politically correct, if and when a next coach comes in, then I don't think that coach is going to stand for that. You understand what I'm saying? So with Devonte, I don't think they're paying him big money. We know he can't get the max, but he's not, I don't think he's going to get paid big money like that. If they can keep him because he's a shooter, we all know in this NBA, you need shooters. If you don't have shooters, you're not that good. And honestly speaking, the only real shooters on the team, you got 3 shooters on the team: Gordon, Rozier, and Devonte. And if we're talking, they're probably gonna let Rozier go. You got to keep Devonte, not to start, but you got to have a shooter. So I could see them keeping Devonte, but again, Rozier makes sense because you want that big contract off. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you just let it slide, especially if you could get something for it. So you got it. I think you have to move Rozier, even though I would like to keep him. But you got to, I mean, you playing the politics now. You playing, that's what it's about. You got to get something for him. You just can't let him go. You're probably not going to resign him because you got too many players that play alike. So I think Rozier goes. You keep Gordon, of course. Devonte, they might keep, but you make room for Melo to start next year.
Right.
You know, and then after you make room for Melo to start, I mean, he gonna start. I think he's gonna start this year. I'm just saying, but you make room that he's your starter, is for sure. No questions or nothing like that. So now, if that's the case, again, man, you might have to move Cody. You know, if you might move, you might not. The only reason why you might keep Biz is because he's LaMelo's big brother, and him they're you know, there's nothing wrong with having a veteran on the team. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't think this team right now. This is not the team we're looking at. Don't think that this is the team for the future. I think, especially in 2 years, half of this team will be gone.
All right. And this conversation is such a joy. I like that we all, even if we don't agree on a subject, is very cordial and respectful. And this is why I like having Raphael Haynes, a part of 3-Point Conversion on this channel. The brother is just genuine, respectful. And this is the reason why I tell all my subs to go to his channel. If you want to watch in-depth interviews, clips, his channel is the channel you go to. That's the channel you go to. Everybody's asking me, what about this channel? No, his channel. Because he's interviewing the players. No matter if you're a Hornet fan, LaMelo fan, you go to his channel, and it's definitely a joy. I watch every update. When I get a notification, I say, oh boy, it's about to be some. But you're doing a great job, my brother, man. And it's a wonderful thing. Also, because I have a couple of my subs that ask me about the membership of New Media. So I'm going to show you right here. If you all are listening. So becoming a New Media member is quick and easy. From the channel page to join buttons will lead you to a purchase completion screen where you can buy a membership to support the channel. All money from the memberships go directly back into production of new media content. Members get exclusive perks such as access to members only community posts and an icon next to their name as well. From a video to the page join, hit the join buttons. It will lead you to the subscription. Thank you all for supporting New Media, where we're trying to change the way media is talked about. So thank you all.
Dope.
Brother, like DJ said, man, we appreciate you for real for always coming on here talking with us and you know asking the questions that the fans want to know and the supporters want to know as well. Switching lanes a little bit, and you know it still has to do with LaMelo because he plays for the Charlotte Hornets. You know what I'm saying, just looking as an observer, do you see the 10 seed in the future? What is your expectations going forward for the rest of the season?
I would tell you the reason why I don't know. First of all, let's be real. Just not even with just the Charlotte Hornets, but just the NBA alone, you probably won't see teams play at a pace to where, okay, you see this is who they are. You won't see teams' identities just yet. It's messed up. First, it was no training camp. Then you have the with stuff with the pandemic, with the COVID-19 stopping teams. It's halting games. It's so teams can't get in rhythm. The only teams you see playing well are the teams you expect to be there at the end. Philly, both LA teams, and surprisingly Utah. So so just with that alone, it's hard to see. But then shout out to Elijah. But then the fact that you with Hornets, they win 3 or 4, they lose 3 and 4. They don't have an identity. We don't know what they're going to do with Melo. We don't know what they're going to do with Devonte. What's going to happen now with Cody? The Cody Zeller, I will admit, that was a monkey. That was a monkey wrench that just was thrown in because now they didn't expect Biz to start. Biz, I know we get on Biz. A lot of people get on Biz a lot. Biz, it wasn't Biz's job to play 30 minutes a game. It wasn't his job to be that. He was the backup center. He was coming in. But now, I mean, that's what it was. So now you have to see the team reprogram itself because you got this new guy, Cody, on the court. Melo has to learn to play with him now. Gordon has to learn to play with him now because both of them didn't play last year with him. So it's going to take some time, man, but it's possible they could get the 10th seed. The East is stacked, but because it's 10 teams right now, they have a chance. The Bulls are playing pretty well. Orlando always that team that always sneak in like 8 or 9. So, but it's possible if they get an identity, he finally get the lineups right. He talked about today messing with the lineups. I posted, if y'all watch the whole thing, he talked about messing with the lineups today, so say all that. I don't know. Like I said, it just depends, man. It's just so many factors right now with this team. It's just too much uncertainty right now, and they have to clean that up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only part I don't like is the fact that I don't think. I mean, I appreciate his honesty, but I don't think a coach should come out and say, I don't know. We got to figure it out. Or we don't. You shouldn't be saying it too many times. That I don't like. I don't like that. I don't think as a coach you should be saying it because now your players. How are your players supposed to look at you and what you say if
we try to say it, Raphael?
We don't know no DJ. We don't know nothing, bro.
They say we don't know anything. I'm gonna sit back and chill.
Watching the film.
Yeah,
no,
man.
I got another one. I got one for you to tee up for James Borrego because I think he gets frustrated with the Melo questions. So let's talk X's and O questions. Let's not blame everyone else. Let's blame the guys that's on the court. Devonte Graham being one of them. How long can you stick with the zone, the 2-3, that every team you've played since the Mavericks has figured out? How long are they willing to stick with this 2-3 zone that is getting them cooked? And Melo's not starting, so you can't be running that zone for Melo.
Until James out of a job.
Right.
You said it again?
But you said original.
I said until JB's out of a job. That's how long they're going to run it, until he's out of a job.
Right. Well, think about it. They got to. You know why they have to? First of all, they're not good defensively. I mean, man to man. We talked about that. We talked about Devonte. I mean, we my saying is tell the truth, shame the devil. We talked about LaMelo. It's you have to, and at times it's worked. The 2-3 zone is when you switch it up. It's worked when the team is hustling, when they're playing. But and to be honest, the games that they've been close to or won, if they weren't shooting the lights off, let's be real, that defense was holding them. You know what I'm saying? It was keeping them in the game. But because they're small, when you got somebody that's big, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It can't. Chicago destroyed them in the paint. Now, I hadn't seen it didn't work for Dallas. With Toronto, they kept shooting threes, right? They was making threes, but every team is not going to make threes like that. You would give that up. They just made their threes, but for the most part, if you have teams that are big, it's going to be hard to stop because they're undersized. So I don't.
And see, this leads us back. We keep coming back to it. We keep coming back to it. They got it was a setup question. I'm not gonna lie. I was asking because I wanted to hear his response. But that's the only defense they can run. It has nothing to do with LaMelo Ball. It's because you're playing two guards. I do not believe that Devonte Graham is 6'1". Everything in me says he's 5'11".
That joke
So
5'11". Yeah.
He's 5'11". All right. So you got a 5'11" two guard out there, or a 6'1" two guard in Terry Rozier. You have a 5'11" point guard. You've been running Biz at the center position and PJ at the power forward. So you got to run this zone. But the problem is, and this is what teams are figuring out, even when they miss, because your guards are so small on the backside, that's why I can't think of the player's name for the Bulls. I can't pronounce it. It starts with an M.
Marketing.
Yeah, marketing. That's why he got so many backside rebounds, because there's no one back there but Devonte Graham on the backside.
Right.
Devonte can't stop him from getting a weak side rebound and putting it back. So this brings us right back to the LaMelo Ball questions.
Right.
LaMelo was rebounding his ass off a week ago. James Borrego comes out when one of the reporters asks a question and says, LaMelo is really helping you guys with weak side rebounding. But what are you guys gonna do?
What you gonna say?
Yeah, I'm on their ass, bro. I'm on their ass. We got a full clip over here. Hashtag new media. And then James Borrego, once again, I've never seen a coach do this to a player that is accomplishing things in their first year. He comes out and says, well, yeah, LaMelo is getting all the rebounds. He's taking everyone's rebounds. So I don't think we need to worry about rebounding. We have not seen LaMelo crash boards since those games. I mean, since that press conference. See what I'm saying? The answer to your defensive problems is already on your roster. So this is why, and I'm talking about Charlotte Hornets fans like K Warren and K Warren, and shout out to 704 Charlotte Bound and Gia Blackness, all of these guys that listen to the show that have been season ticket holders and have supported the Charlotte Hornets. It doesn't seem like they're trying to win games, because that lineup is not going to work in the NBA. I see games where, when I look at that schedule, the next 3 games, I ask myself, which one of those games is winnable?
Which the next 3 games?
Yeah, Orlando, then we got Indiana, right?
Yeah, Orlando, Indiana. What is the third game? Excuse me, y'all. I'm covering these AFC championship games.
All good.
Everything winning. I gotta do that, but I'm gonna look it up right now. They play Wednesday. They are playing the Wizards. That's no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. They're playing. They play Pacers. They play Pacers on a back-to-back. So they don't play back-to-back. It's like a Monday, then they play them on a Wednesday.
The Pacers are one of the biggest teams in the East. You see what I'm saying? So even if their threes don't fall,
right,
because of your stubbornness for whatever reason, and then the fans are saying, okay, so even when Melo is in limited minutes, and he's not the reason for you losing because the backside rebounding and the giving up threes with the zone, it seems like he's the fall guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted the question asked about the zone, because this is a serious question. And I understand, Raphael. Really, what else can they run? But at this point, it seems like teams have figured it out, you know? And once again, as somebody wanted me to ask, and I know you already answered this question, but people were asking, once they figure out their rotations, where do you see the identity of this team headed this year?
It's still gonna be hard, man, because of the team they have. Like let's say if they find it, we're gonna do it like this. Let's say they insert Melo in, right? You insert Melo in. You speed up the game. I think that's when you really can speed up the game, because that's what they wanted to do, speed up the game, the pace, but they stopped doing that for some reason. But you can speed up the game now, because this is your Jason Kidd where you grab the rebound, then you go. He grabs the rebound, you push it. That's how Russ thrived. You know what I'm saying? You should go that route. Then if you set up, I mean, sometimes the ball movement is cool, but I really think because they don't run certain plays for certain people, I think you got to start running plays for Gordon more, like Gordon and Rozier. Then with Melo, you do your pick and rolls to where now he has a decision where I can go in and lay it up or I can make the pass. You put him where he has options, because that's where he's at his best. But it's got to, your identity should be get it to our best players, have it in our best players' hands. I still like the ball movement, but within the last 10 seconds, your best player should have the ball and they should be making a move. So whether that's Melo handling it or whether that's Gordon at the top of the key or even Rozier, set screens for Rozier to shoot. But everybody just, it looks like there's no set plays for people. It's just, we're moving the ball around. Hey, and whoever gets the open shot, if we have an open shot, take it. That's not college. It's not college. That's college basketball. NBA, you go to your best players.
Right on. Raphael, our wonderful subscriber Rainley said that against the Raptors, where Graham cost them the game, he had a lot of turnovers and missed defensive lapses. And Borrego's answer was LaMelo had some turnovers. You remember that game, brother?
Now, honestly, I heard about this. Now, I remember, I think I told you, DJ, I had to go on. I had to take a little break.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on with NFL, the NBA teams and all of that. So I took a little break. I didn't get to watch the game, but trust me, shout out. I forgot his name on YouTube, but my guy rated on Twitter. Always hitting me up on the DMs, and so he was filling me in. Of course, he gonna fill me in. But Danny told me and they said that I heard a lot of fans hit me up saying that Melo, he said Melo has some turnovers. Again, I don't know if that's subliminal to teach him and trying to get to him, trying to toughen him up or whatever it is. That's my only answer I got, man, because I don't understand why he would say that. And again, it could be that tough love where he's trying to get this guy to that point and really just trying to work on him. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get him tough and that tough skin and ready to play. And you see players do that. Like I said, we saw Brown do that to Iverson. At one point, Lloyd started doing it to Trey this first year. You see Popovich always did that. So that could be it. But if it's not, I don't know, bro. That's beyond me and beyond what I think is right. That's you shouldn't. That's why I say, and just by the comment Revolution said when he was like, he owes it to Devonte.
The PR is not good, brother. Raphael, if you know this, if James Borrego's PR with LaMelo Ball was so much better than it is now, if it was better, the backlash would not be as great. Right. He could have coded those words better than what he has said. If he would equally criticize the team and realize that LaMelo is a rookie and is going to make mistakes like any other rookie, it would be hard for many of us and anybody on social media to criticize James Borrego. All we'll say is, well, we want LaMelo to start. We're mad that he's not starting, but at least this coach gives equal treatment.
Exactly.
Now, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to say, I want to ask y'all a question. So do you think that that's his way. And I guess you don't have to answer, but it's one of them questions that I'm really just saying. You think it's really that he gets tired of us asking LaMelo questions?
Exactly.
And
I think so.
I think that might have something to do with it, because we you already know we asking the LaMelo question, because that's what y'all want to know. Now sometimes we need to ask questions about the game, and we need to ask about PJ, like Danny today asked about the backcourt with Devonte and Rozier both playing good at the same time. And he said it was a good question, but I don't have an answer for it. I mean, but we have to ask those type of questions. But we're gonna ask questions about, first of all, he's your franchise right now. He's third pick. He's a fan favorite. Talent wise, he probably has the most talent. You know what I'm saying? Especially offensively on the team. We're gonna ask you questions.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Olis.
Right, exactly, right. It's just,
oh Lord.
But that's what it is. That's real, and he gotta face that. I talked to Danny about that. Shout out to my guy Danny, man. Danny be working so hard. Y'all just don't know. But Danny Thompson. But we were talking, and we were just talking about questions, and I remember mentioning, I was like, hey, you need to, let's ask him this about LaMelo or whatever. He was like, yeah. And he said, I hope he don't get mad for me saying this, but he was just like, yeah, I hear you. He's like, I didn't want to ask it because everybody was asking about LaMelo, and I said, that's his job. He gonna have to face it. He's a star player. What does he expect? You think when Michael Jordan with the Bulls, everybody's asking about John Paxson every game, or Horace Grant? No, they were asking about Michael Jordan like that. Ask about LeBron James. They ask about Kobe. Right now, they're asking about Ja. They're asking, man. Sometimes I'm trying to get in. Like we cover some of Dallas games also. I promise you, and I understood. My man, God, I can't think of his name. The coach for Dallas, his name at the tip of my tongue, but either or, the coach for Dallas, he was getting sick of it because everybody kept asking him about Luka. All right, Rick Carlisle, Luka. So Luka didn't have a good game, and he didn't have a good game, but everybody asking the same question. I understand that, but when we're asking questions that we don't have answer to, as far as why is he not starting? He didn't play that many minutes. He had a great game. Is he going to start, or what? Just, can you talk about his performance? You're going to get those questions. You can't get upset. You can't get frustrated. That's what it is. He's the star. And what'd you say one more time, Revolution?
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Exactly.
It's a fact.
Exactly.
Look, when nobody rocking with the Charlotte Hornets before LaMelo. Once again,
Man.
they can try to classify us as fans or whatever. This is common sense, bro. This is common sense. Man, I appreciate your time, brother, for real. I know it's late. I appreciate you, man.
No, y'all good. We're good.
And I wanted unoriginal, and you've been very patient, unoriginal S1 this whole time. I'm gonna allow you to ask Raphael some questions, if you like.
I appreciate you giving me the platform. Been a big
Good.
fan of your platform, big fan of you, Revolution. Always telling the truth, always speaking that real. 3-point conversion, Raphael. I've been following your content for a while now. I appreciate that you ask the questions that the fans want you to ask, and yeah, man, keep on doing what you're doing, man. #new media, man.
You heard it, man. New media, man. Someone asked me, he said, is 3-point conversions part of new media? I said, well, they do things independent. So, yeah, that'd be yes.
Right.
New media, too.
I was actually talking to, I'm going to give y'all somebody to follow. It's his name is, it goes by El Dorado, whatever, but his company is These Urban Times, and he's on YouTube as well. And I'm gonna actually put his information on my YouTube channel so everybody can follow. But I was talking to him, his brother. He covered the Hawks as well, but he does a lot of hip hop, all of that, right? But I was telling him about the new media, and I was saying like, yo, this, that's what everybody saying. This is group that we're performing new media, and that's what we are. We're new media right now, and when I look at new media, I never used that term until my man DJ hit me with it. But when I think about it, new media is the media that's we're closer to the fans. We're gonna ask the questions that need to be asked, but at the same time, we're gonna be respectful. We don't want to ask the dumb questions. We don't want to ask. Well, let me take that back. It's no such thing as a stupid question. Just stupid people who ask questions. I always say that. So we not going to ask. We're not going to have stupid people ask questions. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ask. We're going to be respectful, but ask the right questions. We're going to adhere to the fans, more than they used to adhere to, and then we're going to treat just the players and media in itself, journalism, with respect. That's how I always looked at it. So when I heard the term new media, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That's what we do. But yeah, I was just talking to him about that, man. So that's what it's about, and that's what I represent. I love it.
No, I appreciate it for real, man. But what I really wanted to come in and talk about was JB and what he said. Was it today? Or I think today, what he said about LaMelo and Miles coming off the bench and talking about how, them turnovers, you can't do that on his watch. He's gonna yank you out, which is exactly what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with those comments, I mean, he just signed off on his firing without even knowing. He's gone. He's done. What he just did with those comments was make sure that he won't be the head coach here next season. Because him playing LaMelo 2 minutes in that whole second half was unacceptable. It was unacceptable, and I personally was looking at LaMelo and I saw a boy that was not enjoying his basketball anymore. I've been a big fan of the Ball family from the start, but I've been very objective with them. With Lonzo, you can see he's a good player. He's got the ability to be a fantastic player. But as of right now, he's becoming a role player. And what I'm seeing with LaMelo is a kid that's truly special. He's shown you that. He's shown you that as of right now, he deserves a starting spot. You have a Devonte Graham in front of him, who is one of the worst defenders in the league. I'm 5'11". That man is not taller than me. He's not taller than me. He can't be. He's a volume shooter who's not efficient. And LaMelo's averaging he's averaging almost as many points, more rebounds, assists, in less minutes. I don't see what James Borrego. I can see what he's trying to do, and I agree with what Rev said, what Revolution said. He's trying to backbreak him. He's trying to turn him into a conventional NBA player. But and I agree with what you said, Raphael, about trying to mold him. But I feel like with a player like him, he's a maverick. You cannot mold a maverick. You let him play, and you let him be magic on the court. You let him show the magic that he can produce. I feel like by empowering Devonte Graham the way he is, we can clearly see that's his favorite. It's only going to end badly for Charlotte. They will never go anywhere with a 5'11" point guard who's not really a point guard. He's a two guard who's an inefficient shooter. You will never go anywhere with that. With LaMelo, you really have a franchise player who you can build around, who can take you places. Their record right now is what? It's 6-9, 6-10.
Mm-hmm.
The last few games they lost were winnable games. Had he played LaMelo, let's say 26 to 27, 28 minutes like he was playing when they won that four win streak, was it 4 straight wins? They could have won some of these games because with him on the court, they can rebound, they push the pace faster, they get more assists on the board. Without him, you have guys like PJ bringing the ball up, Devonte Graham bringing the ball up, Gordon Hayward bringing the ball up. These guys can't bring the ball up. I mean, Hayward to a degree can, but they don't create for others. They're just looking to get their own shot. And what it leads to is a lot of disorganization. You know what really got me angry actually? I saw Devonte Graham in the second half of that game waving off Terry Rozier, waving off Gordon Hayward, and this is the empowerment that James Borrego is giving him. I can't believe it. I can't believe they're giving this much power to a second round draft pick who's not he's of no value. I can't even get my words out. I'm so angry with the things that have been said, the way he's treated LaMelo. Charlotte, when have Charlotte ever been a relevant franchise? They will never have anything better than this right now, and they're squandering it. They're squandering it because James Borrego wants to get Tay Bay paid. He wants to get Tay Bay paid. Oh, it's a contract year. He's a human. He's got feelings. What about Miles Bridges? He's on a contract year. He's got feelings. Why are you not playing him?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't even tried to play him. I mean, you yank him out every 2-3 minutes. What about him? There's so sorry. I just wanted to finish stuff.
Go ahead.
Like Revolution was saying, there's so many holes in the things that James Borrego has said. Just like, for example, with Devonte trying to get him paid, he's a human. He's got feelings. But Miles Bridges, on the other hand, he's not a human. I guess he ain't got no feelings. I guess. All right then. You talk about LaMelo being so poor defensively. That's why you had to yank him out. He couldn't play that second half. Devonte Graham, as I have said, is one of the worst. He probably is, alongside Trae Young, the worst defender in the league. The worst defender in the league. So you take out LaMelo because he's bad defensively, but you justify that justifies playing Graham 38 minutes like he's an MVP, and he's strutting out there like he is one. I can't believe it. A Revolution, I might hand it over to you. I
want to piggyback on what man said. You know what I mean? And you can answer all of these questions, brother. Shout out to the brother who came through with the top boy flow. I hear you. Big up to London. But nah, for real though. Check it. We was having a deep conversation, Raphael. Let's go back there, bro. Mm-hmm. If Devonte Graham is playing starters minutes, he is your closer, right? You are constantly pushing him into this role. If you're being worked like a number 1 or 2 guy in this league, and his average gets around 20 points a game, Charlotte gonna have to drop that bag, bro. And Borrego is empowering this. That's what I'm saying. If they don't move him, he's gonna be able to point to his minutes. He's going to be able to point to his points per game and what he's put in for this franchise. And if you got a young guy behind you and you know it's a chance he's going to replace you in the starting lineup and you may never get a big bag, they are setting this man up to overprice himself. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm afraid of is, does James Borrego really have the heart to move away from Devonte Graham?
I don't know. I don't think he gets paid. I don't think Borrego, as far as him trying to get Devonte that bag, I don't even think JB has that type of power. First of all, Mitch is not even that type of GM anyway. Like, you're not about to tell me you saw how he did in LA. But then too, I just don't think the way JB talks about Mitch, and as far as the team, I think JB talks like, okay, I didn't sign up for the way they're constructing the team. And he always say it depends on what Mitch does. And it's kind of giving us that narrative like, okay, either he doesn't like how the team is constructed, like, because it might not have been, you go back to Melo. Melo probably wasn't his choice. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just speaking on how everything looked. Melo might not have been his choice. But Mitch chose him. Mitch chose your boy. PJ might not have been his choice. It's so that goes into a lot. So with Borrego speaking up for DG, that's cool and all, but that doesn't mean it gets done. So I'm wondering. I've been on this since the beginning of the season. I've been hearing certain things, and I'm just trying to figure out, is there something to this where management and coaches not saying eye to eye? I really want to know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But I'm gonna go back. I want to go back to unoriginal. What he said. He when he was talking about DG, and as far as this last game, how DG got the minutes and LaMelo, and then just talking about defensively and all of that. He hit me with the dope accent, so it kind of
I
really
appreciate
got
it, bro.
to me. But here's the thing. This is why I think he played, and I said it early in the show. I think he played LaMelo 2 minutes, and like you said, like we said, he was messing up defensively, of course, but DG is horrible defensively as well. But it was the 20 points. And if DG is already one of his favorite players, anything can help that. And of course, when he scored the 20 points, and he was the best player at that point in time after 2 quarters, and then Melo came in offensively. Remember, he made the turnovers. He made 2 plays that I think Cody, messed up, but then he made 2 bad turnovers. Let's be real. You saw Melo's reaction like he knew he messed up. I think that had more to do with it, where it's like, all right, we trying to win this game. We got to put DG in. I think that's why. But here's the problem with this defense. I want to go back to the 2-3 zone, and I forgot to mention this. The reason why you can't incorporate Melo, or he doesn't incorporate Melo, or maybe this is why he's not incorporating Melo in his offense, like I talked about defensive efficiency, is the fact that when you look at Trey now, let's go back to Trey Young. Trey doesn't play defense. Now Trey tried to work and play defense, but Trey 5'5". Trey 5'10". They say he's 6 feet, but Trey about 5'10". He ain't that much taller than me. I ain't number 5'9". But right now, it's working because you got Capella blocking shots. The fact that they don't have a shot blocker in there. If they had a shot blocker in there, we don't know with coach, but you almost gotta start LaMelo, because if he mess up defensive, he can learn, or maybe he's just not that good. But hey, we know in the back end we good. We know somebody's gonna block the shot. Even with Devonte, you don't even have that with Charlotte right now. And I think that plays a major factor. That's why they do have to get somebody big, because sometimes, you're just not going to be good defensively. And I think with Devonte's not good defensively. He's not. He can't guard anybody one-on-one. And even going back to Trey can't guard anyone one-on-one. But at the same time, it's not even about you just bad defensively, or you just can't guard anybody. But now it's still being in the right area, being in the right, be where you're supposed to be defensively. And I think that's where they're trying to get LaMelo. But once he gets there, even if they got to understand, Magic Johnson wasn't a good defensive player. You like I said, we mentioned Trey. It's a lot of Luka's not a good defensive player. It's a lot of players are not good. That's just what they are and what they bring to the game. You just we just not going to. That's just going to be one of his weak areas. Like I said, that's the reason why I hate the term two-way player, because two-way player was meant to cover up the bad defensive players that are all-stars. It was there to cover up LeBron. Well, I ain't gonna say LeBron because LeBron's pretty could play defense when he wanted to, but Harden, the Steph Curry's. At one point, Durant plays defense now, but at one point, Durant, all the young stars that didn't play defense, even Rose wasn't good defensively. It was there to protect though, because most of your all-star and your superstars didn't play defense. That's why that term, I hate that term. Because come on, I don't know how old y'all are, but I mean, I'm not trying to make this a get off my lawn segment, but I'm 41. When I came up, you didn't hear it. It wasn't no two-way player. It was just he was a good player. You had certain players that didn't play defense, maybe, but for the most part, everybody played defense. If you were good, it was required. Nowadays, it's not. So I don't want them to hold it against LaMelo, and I don't think he's holding it as far as he has to get better, defensively. I think it's more of just knowing where to be. And like I said, if you watch him, I know a lot of fans with LaMelo, they you looking at stats and you know what I'm saying, but watch him defensively. Sometimes he can get lost. Sometimes he can. But for the most part, and last game he did, but once he gets that down, it's no excuse to keep him on the bench. Like, again, he's probably not going to be good. That's okay. That's all right, man. What he gives away on defense, he'll get back on offense. But that's why you got to get a big man now to block shots, because if you do have somebody on the perimeter that's not that good, then a shot blocker makes up for that. So once they get that, it'll be no excuse, and that's one of the biggest problems. Back to the question about the 2-3 zone and all of that. That's why you have to play the zone, because you have no shot blocker. You have no second line of defense. And until they get that, they're going to continue to struggle. And I mean, that's whether it's LaMelo, Devonte, Rose, whoever. It don't matter. You can't. It's hard to play defense when you don't have a second line of defense.
I'd just like to piggyback off the point about the big man, Charlotte needing a big man. This is why I originally think that they wanted to draft Wiseman. I don't believe, and everything that James Borrego's doing now is kind of affirming my original stance that I don't think they really wanted to draft Melo. I don't. From him not even getting the number 1 jersey from the start of the season, that didn't make no sense to me. The way he's being slowly phased in. I mean, he played a lot of minutes to start the season, the first 10 games, and then now, I mean, the last few games his minutes have been cut. I don't truly believe that Charlotte wanted LaMelo. I don't. I feel like
you don't believe that Charlotte wanted LaMelo?
I don't. I feel like they wanted Wiseman. I feel like their team needed a big man, and then seeing Golden State get Wiseman, I feel like Michael Jordan looked to the rest of the draft and thought, you know what, Melo, that's dollar signs. He was seeing dollar signs. He was seeing that green, and he said, you know what, let's go get Melo, because everything they've done since getting him hasn't shown me that's someone they want. That's someone they see as a franchise player. I don't. The way JB comes out but recently started coming out and digging LaMelo from the little comments about, oh, he's stealing people's rebounds. Okay, right.
Ridiculous.
Then coming out talking about, I mean, just yesterday talking about LaMelo and Miles Bridges not doing anything off the bench. That's why they didn't play the rest of the second half. Granted, LaMelo was looking a little lost on defense, cool. But I mean, he's not a bad defender. He gets his hand on the basketball quite a lot. He gets a lot of deflections. I mean, he can be a nuisance. Whereas Devonte Graham, he's damn near unplayable at times. He can't play defense. He's incapable.
Yeah, he can't play. Right.
So
Right.
everything that they've done, and I didn't want to believe it. I really thought, you know what, maybe Michael Jordan has finally got it right for once. Maybe he's finally got himself one, and maybe that remains to be seen what they do with LaMelo. But everything they've done so far, I really believe that they wanted Wiseman, and seeing Wiseman go to Golden State, they just thought, you know what, Melo, that's a cash cow. He brings them revenue. They know no one wants to see no Devonte Graham, like Revolution said. No one wants to see Devonte. I've been watching the NBA for the best part of a decade, right? And I've not once ever watched a Charlotte Hornets game. They not even crossed my mind. I couldn't even spell Hornets. Now I tune into every single game just for LaMelo because I'm a fan of his, and I imagine a lot of other people do.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to deprive us of that because of Devonte, who's not really giving you much because he's your guy, because you want to get him paid. I just don't believe that Melo was their guy to begin with. I don't believe that they see him as a franchise player. I don't believe they wanted to draft him.
Original. Can I ask you a question? I want to ask everyone else's question, and I mean this. And this is probably the most realest question y'all going to hear. Because again, I'm gonna tell the truth and shame the devil. So, like you said, you didn't hear. You you said you didn't even know how to spell the Hornets. You didn't watch the Hornets. I get that, and I believe it's a lot of fans out there that didn't watch the Hornets, which makes sense because the Hornets wasn't attractive last year. But I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like that. But when you hear me say things like that, most Melo fans don't want to hear. LaMelo fans, to me, the real Melo is Melo, Carmelo. So I always call him LaMelo. But the real LaMelo fans that they don't want to hear, because I wonder when, and this is part of the coach's fault maybe, but when do you think you will be able to take the blinders off, the LaMelo blinders off, and then be able to just say, all right, I'm going to watch this game and critique the game as of the Charlotte team? You can still be a LaMelo fan, of course, but when does that happen? And I'll say this and I'll let you answer. And the reason why I ask that is because, and it's normal to go through this process, because when it's your favorite player, you want your favorite player to succeed. You look at it, what they're not doing them right, they're not doing them wrong, and eventually through time, more than likely you'll become a Charlotte Hornets fan, especially when he's starting. You know what I'm saying? And when you start making his impact and they start winning. But sometimes it's hard. I think, or I'll ask you, is it hard for you to really process what's going on because of your feelings about LaMelo? And when I say feelings, as far as because you're fans of LaMelo, not necessarily fans of Charlotte, or maybe not even fans of the NBA, like an NBA fan. Like I would say, and I'm not saying this about LaMelo fans, but like I'm a big football fan. I'm from Chicago, right? I'm a Bears fan. My question, I've always said, and again, I'm not saying this about LaMelo fans because y'all know basketball, but Chicago Bears fans, I will always say I hate Bears fans that aren't NFL fans. And I say that because they don't know football, but they love the Bears. So in correlation, when you're a LaMelo fan, is it hard for you to really see any picture that the Charlotte Hornets are painting, especially when Borrego saying the things that he says and the way he pushing out this narrative?
I mean, I hear your point. I can differentiate because I mean, starting to watch Charlotte Hornets now, I've become a fan of other players' game. I've become a fan of PJ's game. I like his game.
Mhm.
I've become a fan of Miles. I mean, I really like Miles Bridges' game. I really like Miles Bridges. I mean, you can see the connection with him and Melo on the court. Terry Rozier, I've really become a fan of his game because when Melo has the ball in his hand, he embraces him. And because of that, they become better players. They get their looks and they hit their shots. My problem is when James Borrego criticizes LaMelo. Okay, I can understand that, right? Because he didn't have a great game. He had turnovers, cool. My problem is when you criticize him about his turnovers, when I've seen Devonte Graham have 3 turnovers back to back to back, and you don't say a damn word.
Right.
And you criticize his defense when Devonte Graham, as I've said again, is one of the worst defenders in the league, and you don't say a damn word, then I have a problem with you because you're not consistent.
Right.
You're not being consistent. You're showing your true colors. You're
Hey,
showing
can I
that
ask
you have favorites.
Can I ask the
Wait,
brother?
wait,
Can I
wait,
ask the
wait,
brother
wait,
a
wait,
question?
wait, wait. Unc, before you go, before you start, Unc, I gotta
Yeah.
play your theme song.
All right, thank you, bro.
I gotta play your theme song, man. I want you. Let me tell you something. Back in my day, let me show you.
Hey,
Boy, Uncle Vern in the house.
Okay, hey,
How you
hey,
doing, my
hey.
brother?
I'm good, brother. Thank you. And I appreciate it. And I apologize if I wasn't cutting that brother off, man. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got
Okay, look, I apologize. Hey,
No
listen,
problem,
brother, look here. You had made a statement earlier. You said it ain't no such thing as no stupid question. Didn't you make that statement just about 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, no stupid questions.
Hey, look here, look. This is gonna be the stupidest question you ever heard in your life. Man, why not? How come you look? How come, man, look here. How come Charlotte ain't trying to get Lonzo down there, man? Hey, wait, before you answer that question, look at this. They've been growing up together. Melo is going on 6'8", right now, man. Look at it. That off guard position and that on guard position gonna be real nice for him. Now you answer my question, please, sir. Why is that impossible?
I don't. The reason why I don't think that works
Whoa, there
necessarily.
you go.
No, you gotta let me answer. Let me answer
Okay.
so it can make sense. I'm trying to make sense of it. The reason why I don't think it works because in hindsight, because they're used to playing with each other, okay, it'll work.
Hey,
but
that's one.
Are they used to playing with each other with everybody else?
Man,
if it's not fitting, and not even just this scheme, but whatever scheme it is, if it doesn't fit the whole scheme, then it probably can't. I don't think LaMelo can score, but I don't think in this NBA, I don't think his strengths is a shooting guard. To me, his strength is a point guard. He is
brother, come on, man, please. You limited. This is positionless basketball. Okay, let me get that in. Positionless basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm saying I think his strength is more of a facilitator. He has to you want him to have the ball, but Lonzo is not a play off the ball type person either. Lonzo is a point guard, a true point guard. So I don't think that works because, especially with a player like LaMelo, you want him to play at his strength, right? If you're going to play him at his strength, you want LaMelo to be that point guard. He's a floor general. We talked about that earlier. he's a floor general. Both players are floor generals. It's not the what was Unc's league? I forgot what it was called. Something BL league, but it's not that. So the BBL league, I don't think it works. It only works in that league. To me, if anybody you want to get in, let him get some work in the G League. You want to get his brother Jello in. I would prefer him to come in because Jello is a shooter, and now you have somebody that can play with his brother, but yet still you can incorporate him within the system, and it works. This is somebody that they need.
Would you? Wait a minute. You said with somebody that they need. Like, what do you mean by that?
They need a shooter. They need more shooters on this team.
Okay, they need a shooter to understand that you don't call Lonzo a shooter. The man like 6'7", you know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about Devonte 5'11" something. We talk about this dude 6'7", compares, got eyes behind his back. His brother do too. They planning. They want to, like you just mentioned earlier, they want to get a running gun offense going.
Mm-hmm.
What do it take? Like what do you mean? And the man played defense. Or did I mention that already?
Who, Lonzo?
Yeah, who else?
No, Lonzo ain't been playing defense.
Well, hold on, whoa. Do you know who it is I'm talking about?
Lonzo Ball that played for New Orleans Pelicans?
Right.
He hadn't been playing defense this year.
The young man brother, the one that's going to pass him the ball. Other niggas ain't passing him no ball. Come on, man, for real, B. Y'all ain't thought about that?
Nah, I like his brother. I like Jello playing better.
Man, cause I don't get it, bro. I don't think y'all know about basketball down there in Charlotte. I think that's what it is. Y'all got basketball all fucked up. Because like I said before, like you already know it. This is a running gun system, man. You can lose going down, giving up. If you get Lonzo up, I'm telling you, got more defense on the front court, man. He ain't no weakness. He ain't no weakness nowhere on that court, brother.
Who, Lonzo?
So you can't say it's the difference between having. You can't say it's like just having Devonte ain't no different than having Lonzo there because it won't fit, because you don't think it won't fit. That don't make sense. If it with them, they've been doing it all their life.
What Devonte shoots and can score, like Devonte can't play defense either. We know Devonte can't play defense.
Matter of fact, let me ask you this stupid question. What round did Devonte go in? Did he go number 2 in the pick?
Yeah, he went number 2. No, he went second round, but he plays better than
second round.
He plays better than Lonzo though. Right now, he's playing better than Lonzo.
Can I get a question? Another question. Did he go number 2 in the draft? My brother, look here. I know I sound stupid. I'm just asking stupid questions. Did he go number 2 in the draft? That's all I'm asking you.
No, I don't think DG didn't go number 2.
Second round.
Mm-mm.
Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, well, hey, that's one on this against the side. Okay, well, hey, Lonzo, you happy over there where you at? Nope. Can I get over there with my brother? Yeah, let's see.
Hey, y'all, man.
I apologize, brother. I don't mean you to hop. I just had to ask. Man.
We know you're passionate.
You good,
it's all good, Unc. You just like Unc going to barbecue, man. Drinking that cognac.
But you don't get that though, huh? You don't. That won't work, huh?
I honestly, I'm gonna be real. Almost at this point, anybody else can help. It don't matter.
I appreciate you, man. All right, well, thanks for praying for me. Pray for me, bro.
I got you up.
And before Uncle Vern go, and we about to go. In respect, we're gonna play his theme music again to the brother.
Let me tell you something. Back in my day, let me show you.
Boy, that old school. Don't you love that old school music?
Shout out
But
to
thank you, Raphael, for coming to the show. You're always welcome. What you do is very important. And everyone who is sub to this channel, go to 3 Point Conversions, the voice of the people. Support his channel. Make sure his YouTube channel goes to 10,000 to 50,000 to 100,000. You never know, a million. Help his
Hey,
channel out. And,
let them know, DJ. Let me let them know this. I
mhm.
appreciate that, and if that happens, then when the Hornets see that, then y'all be seeing interviews just one-on-one when I be having LaMelo or Coach or
Right.
they be like, all right, we go. Right now we had this is our first year covering them, so sometimes they hey, I ain't gonna lie, Hornets been great, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to their PR production and the PR side of it, as far as they just been real nice and giving us this opportunity to cover this team, and they let us ask questions and do everything we need. Anything we need, usually they're there for us. So shout out to them.
Exactly, man. Rev, thank you for being a brother and getting this show right, man. Thank you, Unoriginal S1. You're going to be invited more to the show, Unoriginal S1. You know what you're talking about. You're very knowledgeable. Shout out to the UK, by the way. Know we got love for y'all.
Hey man, I appreciate it, man. Listen, new media, you know what time it is.
You already know what it is, man.
I appreciate all the content you guys put out. I listen to it daily when I'm at work. I just slap in my AirPods and I'm just listening to you guys talk. 3 Point Conversions, Raphael, you're doing an amazing job. I'm gonna keep an eye out for all of them JB one-on-one interviews because I want to hear what that man got to say. I'm staying. My foot is not coming up off that man's neck. No point. But yeah, man, keep running them likes up on them channels. Subscribe. Hit that notification button. Do hashtag new media. Again, I appreciate you guys having the platform.
Appreciate it.
Someone said this is not DKM or Unoriginal S1. I got a new name for him. He's UKM, the Black DKM. UKM in the house.
I watched DKM as well, man. He's fantastic. So shout out to him as well, man.
That's what's up.
I'm out here creating characters and stuff. I gave Vernon his nickname, Uncle Vern. I'm just creating. I feel like a producer. I'm creating characters every day, man. But this was a great show, and hope you come back, Raphael, man. We love your input.
Yeah, man. Anytime, man. And again, fans, like I said, I'm with the people. They call me, on my radio show, they call me Mr. Controversy. So that's my AKA. I hadn't hit y'all with the, did you miss me? That's my saying. Right there. I ain't hit y'all with that yet. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to be cordial, professional, but that's my saying. But either or, I want to keep y'all on y'all toes, like I keep the players and the coaches on their toes, and I do that purposely because I want you all to look at the bigger picture, and not bigger picture as far as this is what they're trying to do, but just look at everything. So that way, when you do evaluate, it's not just coming from one side. I always look at it from both sides. Trust me, everything y'all saying, I have debated with Danny about this. But Danny is, hey man, no, that's not. And he's some stuff I still don't agree, but most of the stuff I'm like, you're right. You know what? You're right. I get it. I gotta get him on y'all show as well, man. Let him come in and he'll break that stuff down. That's my guy. That's what he does. This is what he does. So, but I really do that to keep y'all on y'all toes so y'all can see from both sides. So when you do have that debate, or when you are get to that point, DJ, when y'all do have that player or that coach or whoever, now you can, you can't get blindsided with something. You know what I'm saying? You look at it from either side. So that's why I'm playing that advocate of, well, what about this? Well, you got to think about that. But in hindsight, I mean, Melo should be starting soon. I believe he should start. I believe he makes the team work. But again, it's only, what are they, 6-9, 16? It's only 16 games, right? I just think I understand the frustration is legit for everyone, but I think right now it's 16 games. Believe it or not, y'all not the only team that's going through this. It's a lot of teams in the NBA that's frustrated right now. The Hawks, they had a little misfit in the locker room not too long ago. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but that's been a big thing. So a lot of teams are frustrated right now, So we'll see what happens, man. I'm with y'all, and I think it might be a change coming up soon on the team. I don't know if it's gonna be the coach or whatever, but I just feel it, and I'll keep y'all there. Last time I told you I was gonna ask that question about Biz, I did, right? So I'm gonna find out what's going on as far as with Mitch and JB, and if there is any way that he's gonna go ahead and put Melo in.
We do, man. Thank you for joining the show as always. And we'll leave off with our theme music, man. You're always welcome. Peace and love to everybody. I hope everyone has a good night.